Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary General has now joined the ceremony. Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished representatives of the member states, generals, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award, the Woman Police Officer of the Year Award, and the Dag Hammarskjold Medal Ceremony. The General Assembly, in its resolution 57-129, designated 29th May as the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. Today, we are commemorating the 77th anniversary of United Nations peacekeeping. During today's ceremony, the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award, the Woman Police Officer of the Year Award, and the Dag Hammarskjold medals will be presented. A few words on the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award. United Nations Security Council, Resolution 1325 on Women, Peace, and Security underscores the principles of prevention, protection, participation, and gender equality. Established in 2016, the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award recognizes the outstanding dedication and effort of an individual military peacekeeper in promoting these principles within a peace operations context. This year, 17 military peacekeepers from 8 field missions were nominated for consideration of this award. Following a rigorous selection process, a nominee from UNISFA was chosen as the 9th Military Gender Advocate of the Year. The nominee served as the Military Gender Advisor in the Force Headquarters in Abay Town. She served above and beyond her responsibilities, consistently seeking to integrate the principles of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 into military planning, operations, and the daily work of UNISFA. For over 2 decades, the Police Division, as part of its efforts to enhance operational effectiveness and mandate delivery, has developed several initiatives to increase the participation of women across the full spectrum of United Nations policing functions. Among these initiatives is the United Nations Woman Police Officer of the Year Award. Established in 2011, the award recognizes the exceptional contributions of women police officers to UN peace operations and promotes women's empowerment. This year, we proudly mark the 14th presentation of the award by honoring a woman police officer from UNISFA. Her innovative community engagement and empowerment initiatives, which encourage children to freely express themselves, including violations against them, have strengthened police-community relations and established new channels for reporting crime in a setting lacking a national police service. For its part, the Dag Hammarskjold Medal was approved by the United Nations Security Council in July 1997 as tribute to the sacrifice of military, police, and civilian men and women from all over the world who laid down their lives while serving in UN peacekeeping operations. This medal commemorates the strength, purity, and fragility of the lives lost in the cause of peace. Today, 58 fallen peacekeepers from 32 member states will receive the symbol of the ultimate sacrifice. We would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate 2 peacekeepers who were nominated this year for the Captain Baijan Medal. Corporal Christian Inti from Ghana received a letter of commendation from the Secretary General, and Major Tesfaye Sege from Ethiopia received a letter of appreciation from the Under Secretary General for the Department of Peace Operations, honoring their heroic acts that contributed to saving lives within UNIFIL and UNMISS. We now invite the Secretary General to share his thoughts on this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary General.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, moments ago, I laid a wreath to honor peacekeepers. 4,400 of our precious blue helmets have lost their lives since United Nations peacekeeping was established 77 years ago. In their memory, I would like to ask all present in this room to observe a moment of silence. Thank you. We all pay tribute to those brave women and men who died far from home and far from their loved ones while serving humanity's most noble cause, peace. Today, we honor with the Dag Hammarskjöld Medal 57 peacekeepers who paid the ultimate price for the cause of peace last year, as well as another who's lost his life in 1973. We hold them all in our hearts, and we grieve with their families and loved ones. Their service and sacrifice will never be forgotten. Dear friends, peace is the foundation of the United Nations, with peacekeeping as its cornerstone. This message was reinforced earlier this month at the peacekeeping ministerial meeting in Berlin. Over 130 countries and partners stood up for peacekeeping and to make concrete commitments to strengthen it. It was a moving testimony that the worth and work of our peacekeepers are recognized in every corner of the world, and a tribute to peacekeeping and to peacekeepers to all those we honor today. Over the decades, more than 2 million women and men have served in 72 missions across 4 continents, and I am deeply grateful to our member states for these invaluable contributions. In the communities and countries in which they serve, UN peacekeepers are an important symbol of the United Nations at its best. And together, they have helped improve millions of lives, protecting people, preserving peace, and providing hope, rebuilding infrastructure, repairing institutions, and ensuring life-saving assistance. With their support, nations around the world have made the transition from war to peace. And many of those countries now contribute peacekeepers themselves, using their experiences to help others in need. We must ensure this essential global resource and collective will can thrive over the long term. Chers amis,
dear friends, in these strained and difficult times, that means adapting peacekeeping to new realities. UN peacekeeping missions face complex situations in a complex world. Terrorism, crime that knows no borders, and misinformation, making them targets for attack. The Pact for the Future, adopted last year at the United Nations, includes a commitment to adapt peacekeeping to our changing world. The first step, a review of UN peace operations, is underway, and the United Nations will continue to work with member states and others to deliver. We owe it to the brave women and men who have served and died under our blue flag.
Excellencies, dear friends, today, as we honor the fallen, we also celebrate the achievement of peacekeepers in the past, present and future, including the critical role of women in preventing, securing and maintaining peace. This was recognized by the United Nations Security Council 25 years ago in Resolution 1325. A quarter of a century on, it is a miserable truth that women are still routinely excluded and marginalized in peace processes. The United Nations has made determined efforts to change this, to build diverse and inclusive teams, and to support, protect and empower women in areas where we work. And today we recognize two leading women, Squadron Leader Sharon Muinsote Sime of Ghana, the UN Military Gender Advocate of the Year, and Superintendent Zainab Gebla of Sierra Leone, the UN Woman Police Officer of the Year. The Military Gender Advocate of the Year award recognizes dedication and effort in promoting the principles of Resolution 1325. And Squadron Leader Sharon Muinsote Sime demonstrates these qualities in abundance. As the Military Gender Advisor in the Interim Security Force for ABA, her outreach has built strong community links and brought gender perspectives in the field. Her work helped us to better understand the concerns of women and girls and to craft possible solutions together. That has played a vital role in enabling the force to respond to the needs of the local community, and she has also conducted an intensive health campaign for the local community on gender-based violence and ending child marriage. These have had a long-lasting impact. Thank you, Squadron Leader, for your service. The UN Woman Police Officer of the Year award celebrates role models in peace operations, and the UN Police Officer Superintendent Zainab Gebla is certainly that. She has served in the UN Interim Security Force for ABA for the past 2 years in the dual role of gender officer and police trainer. When she arrived, the area in which she served had no place for children to learn. And so she got to work, initiating a school program, providing educational materials and support, particularly for disadvantaged children, and establishing a mentorship program for girls. She initiated projects to provide women with sustainable incomes, allowing them to provide for their families and send their children to school in a nearby town. And as a police trainer, she taught a diverse range of subjects vital to establishing the rule of law. Thank you, Superintendent, for everything you have done. The efforts of these outstanding women have helped to strengthen the bonds between the ABA mission and the local community, an invaluable gift for any peacekeeping operation. Let me offer my heartfelt congratulations to both of you for your achievements and for receiving these awards today. I'm deeply proud of you both, just as I'm proud of all our peacekeepers, past, present, and future. Our peacekeepers selflessly serve the world. Let us ensure we serve them in order of their service and sacrifice today and every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, for your condolences and your words of encouragement. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now request the Secretary General to present the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award, the Woman Police Officer of the Year Award, and the Dag Hammarskjöld medals. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we will now watch a short video on the activities of the Military Gender Advocate of the Year awardee, Squadron Leader Sharon Minsote Sime.
This is Alpha Golf 249, radio check, over. I have conducted trainings to all the military personnel in UNISFA on incorporating gender into peacekeeping operations. I also have interactions with the community, women and children and even men of the community, where we had a team of medical personnel join us to conduct education on the effect of harmful cultural practices such as female genital mutilation and early marriage. I also work with the community through the OMPO Gender Cell and the OMPO Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Advisor.
We now invite the 9th Military Gender Advocate of the Year awardee, Squadron Leader Sharon Minsote Sime, an Air Force officer of the Ghana Armed Forces Medical Corps, to step forward for the award. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we will now watch a short video on the activities of the Women Police Officer of the Year awardee, Chief Superintendent of Police, Zainab La.
I was deployed in UNISFA in April 2023 as a gender officer in Tajale team site. One of my duty is to engage the women on the issues of sexual and gender-based violence and conflict-related sexual violence. My initial meeting with the people was very alarming. I saw children roaming in the streets aimlessly. I knew I had to do something. When I went to Tajale the other time, I saw that the village was empty. Most of the children were not to be found. I asked and they said they were all in Abe attending school. And so that is one of my highlights in UNISFA.
We now invite the 14th Woman Police Officer of the Year awardee, Chief Superintendent of Police, Zainab La, to step forward and receive her award. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now announce the names of uniformed fallen peacekeepers for the Dag Hammarskjöld Medal. The permanent representatives or designated officials are kindly requested to receive the medal on behalf of fallen peacekeepers and sign the condolence book located to my left.
République du Burundi, Major Claude
The Republic of Burundi, Major Claude Simbare, Major Annunciate Nahimana.
République du Cameroun,
Republic of Cameroon, Matelot de Première Classe Emmanuel Steve Atebele, First Class Pascal Ekoto Ella.
République du Congo,
The Republic of Congo, Maréchal des Logis, Gilles Herman Ebelelo.
Arab Republic of Egypt, Warrant Officer Abdelkavi Mohammed Abdelkavi Surur. Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Private Getu Bezune Meshesha.
France, Capitaine Georges Marcel Vance, Maréchal des Logis Chef Fanny Claudin.
Ghana, Sergeant Evans Kere, Warrant Officer Class 2, David Kwame Amankwa. India, Brigadier General Amitabh Jha, Havaldar Sanjay Singh.
Royaume du Maroc,
Kingdom of Morocco, Caporal Chef Temara Karim.
Pakistan, Sipoy Mohammad Tariq, Havaldar Ehsanullah Khan. Republic of Rwanda, Sergeant Major Fiston Murwanshiaka, Corporal Eliakim Ni Tegeka. Republic of South Africa, Major Christian Johan Pieterse. United Republic of Tanzania, Corporal Juma Ngai Kagose.
Tunisie,
Tunisia, Corporal Chef Bashir Ben Mohamed Diaby.
Republic of Zambia, Warrant Officer Class 2, Matthews Kaumba. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we will now honor the civilian personnel who sacrificed their lives for the cause of peace. We now invite the Under Secretary General for Operational Support to come to the front of the podium. Mr. Pollock Donodji,
Monsieur Irénée Mbetimachi Madajengo, Madame Félicité Ginette Kengeloua, Monsieur Epiphanie Mbami, Monsieur François Francis Lonou,
Mr. Arto Haruntunian,
Madame Jeanne Mez Litwambela, Monsieur Tivou Joseph Ntite, Monsieur Pachou Moro, Monsieur Prosper Chongo Paki, Madame Consolatrice Mouzouri, Monsieur Marcel Madiata Mavenka, Monsieur Hassan Meroudji, Monsieur Claude Kiroli,
Mr. Mohtaj Ibrahim Abdel Salam Abdel Hamid, Mr. Hesse Manuka,
Madame Fatou Assim Diawara,
Mr. Pa Demba Jarju, Ms. Helen Aeta Okalo, Ms. Alice Wanjiru Chege, Mr. Yusuf Diab, Ms. Sarah Zaha Ward, Ms. Anjali Gurung, Mr. Walter Casino, Mr. Gerard Kabalatungan, Mr. Neboisa Rankovic, Mr. Patrick Henry Olofime Williams, Mr. Lutfi Mohammed Vedatala Abdul Rahman, Mr. Agwek Kir, Mr. Butrus Neon Kwani Thiech, Mr. Jackson Malish Martin Samuel, Mr. Salahuddin Mohammed Abdullah Mohammed,
et Monsieur Hichem Fahem.
We now invite the Secretary General to present the Dag Hammarskjöld Medal to the Under Secretary General for Operational Support, who will receive it on behalf of all fallen civilian peacekeepers. This concludes the Dag Hammarskjöld Medal presentations. I invite the Secretary General and the USGs to kindly take their seats. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the Military Gender Advocate of the Year awardee, Squadron Leader Sharon Winsote Sime of Ghana, to deliver her remarks.
Secretary General, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with gratitude and humility, I accept the 2024 United Nations Military Gender Advocate Award on behalf of my respected UNISFA colleagues and my beloved country, Ghana. It has been an honor to work as UNISFA's military gender advisor. Being this staff officer provided me with the opportunity to create awareness on the Women, Peace and Security agenda, the Uniform Gender Parity Strategy, gender mainstreaming, the UN strategic commitments, and incorporating gender perspective into peacekeeping operations. I was privileged to advance gender and related issues for citizens of Abia, particularly women and children, through multilateral collaborations. Together with the Gender Affairs Unit, I have delivered some vital and lasting projects, such as working with military medical specialists who provided sensitization training on the harmful impact of female genital mutilation and early girl-child marriage. For the military components, I established military gender focal points in each critical planning branch, center, and team sites. I also provided training to all contingents and military gender focal points on incorporating gender perspectives into peacekeeping operations. Training on women, peace, and security and gender is essential to create a more effective and inclusive environment and to create the awareness that gender is for everyone, not just women and children. I appeal to all UNISFA peacekeepers to be gender advocates by incorporating gender perspectives in their everyday task. I would like to thank many. Time is, however, limited, so my profound thanks goes to my mission leadership, the wonderful people of Abia, the civil administration, and Paramount Chief. The bravery and fortitude of the wonderful Abia people serves as motivation and constant reminder of UNIFA's important role in Abia. May our steadfast commitment as peacekeepers continually sustain the value of honor, integrity, and service above self. Long live the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you, Squadron Leader Sharon Minso-Tesime, for your inspirational work and encouraging words for our fellow peacekeepers. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the Woman Police Officer of the Year awardee, Chief Superintendent of Police, Zena Abla, to deliver her remarks.
Mr. Secretary General, Under Secretaries General Lacroix and Carey, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude and humility as I accept the United Nations Woman Police of the Year Award. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the United Nations and the Selection Committee for this extraordinary honor. The UN represents a beacon of hope for many, and I'm proud to play a role in advancing its mission. This UN award also symbolizes the tireless work of women in uniform who serve under the UN flag. Each of us face unique challenges in our respective missions, yet our collective goal remains the same: to foster peace and protect the vulnerable. I am myself a United Nations success story. I am a survivor of a conflict that ravaged my beloved country, Sierra Leone, and left me internally displaced and later a refugee in neighboring Guinea. My country became host to a United Nations mission which initiated much-needed security sector reform that ultimately resulted in my recruitment into the Sierra Leone police. My deployment to UNISFA brought back memories of my own experience with war. Seeing so many young people in a community teeming with weapons and crime, including against minors, led me to start a class with children aged 3 to 18 years. I used my resources to create learning materials and teach basic mathematics, English, and art. This initiative also provided a means for the community to report matters to the police, especially violation against children. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to express my gratitude to the UNISFA Police Commissioner, Violet Nasambu Lusala, who is not only a mentor, but always inspires me to do better. I would also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the UNPO senior leadership and my colleague for their unwavering support. I would like to pay tribute to the people of Abe for their resilience and courage, and particularly our partners, the community protection committees, only through which we can truly effect change and build trust within the community of the Abe area. Finally, I want to thank the government and people of Sierra Leone, the Sierra Leone police, my family and friends for being my steadfast support system. To my husband and children, Your encouragement and faith in me have fueled my determination to serve with honor and commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Superintendent of Police, Zenabla, for your inspirational work and encouraging words for our fellow peacekeepers. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the USG DOS to share his thoughts.
Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, dear colleagues, families and friends, I am both humbled and greatly honored to accept this medal on behalf of the civilian peacekeepers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in the service of peace. Today, I received this medal on behalf of the families of 33 civilian personnel from 18 member states. We pay tribute to their bravery and to their dedication to the cause of peace. We grieve with their loved ones for the loss. I believe that the best way for us to honor their memories is to rededicate ourselves and our efforts to the cause of peace. Our women and men are deployed to some of the most challenging and complex environments in the world, and we collectively owe them a deep sense of gratitude for their immense sacrifices. Civilians perform many critical functions to carry out the mandates of peacekeeping operations. They provide vital support and expertise to our missions in areas such as finance, logistics, human resources, and administration, to name only a few, often in remote and dangerous locations, to enable the protection of hundreds of thousands of civilians. I would like to also pay my respect to the winner of this year's Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award, Squadron Leader Sharon Minsote-Sime, and to the winner of United Nations Women Police Officer of the Year Award, Chief Superintendent of Police Zainab Blah, for their outstanding service and dedication to UN peacekeeping. Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, to help enhance the safety and security of the peacekeepers, the Department of Operational Support, together with the Department of Peace Operations, has provided increased access to the necessary training and equipment for them to be able to effectively implement their mandates. We pledge to continue to work in ever-strengthening partnership with member states and our field missions to improve operational capabilities, including modern equipment that is fit for purpose, as well as rapid and effective emergency medical care to provide timely responsiveness when incidents occur for more effective, more cost-effective, and more impactful operations with enhanced safety and security of our peacekeepers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Under Secretary General for Operational Support, for your remarks. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the USG DPO to share his thoughts.
Secretary General, Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I am very honored to join you today to pay tribute to the remarkable work, dedication, and sacrifices of over 75,000 brave men and women from 121 countries who serve across 11 operations worldwide. For over 77 years, more than 2 million peacekeepers, both uniformed and civilian, have joined our noble cause. Today is an occasion to recognize their achievement, and it is also an occasion to look to the future and strive collectively to overcome the challenges that we face. There is a very long list of countries that have been successfully supported by peacekeepers in reaching stability after conflicts, including Cambodia, El Salvador, Liberia, Namibia, Sierra Leone, Côte d'Ivoire, Timor-Leste, and many others. And even in progress today in political processes remains elusive in most peacekeeping settings. Peacekeepers are making a tangible and positive difference in the lives of millions of people. Today we pay tribute to the more than 4,400 men and women who have lost their lives serving under the UN flag since 1948. We honor the service and sacrifice of the 58 peacekeepers who remember with the Dag Hammarskjöld Medal. Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I want to join the Secretary General in congratulating Squadron Leader Sharon Muinsote-Sime from Ghana, our Military Gender Award winner. Squadron Leader Sharon served in the Force Headquarters in Abyei Town as the Military Gender Advisor. She served above and beyond her responsibilities, consistently seeking to integrate the principles of the United Nations Security Council 1325 into military planning, operations, and the daily work of UNISFA. You make us and your country very proud. Thank you. I would also like to congratulate Chief Superintendent of Police, Zainab Gula of Sierra Leone, our Women Police Officer of the Year award winner. During the year, our innovative community engagement and empowerment initiatives in UNISFA have been instrumental in strengthening police relations with the community. Her work to introduce creative mechanisms to proactively engage children and encourage them to express themselves freely in and out of the classroom, including on violations happening to them, has been groundbreaking. Secrétaire général, Excellences, chers collègues et mesdames et messieurs, le thème de cette année, l'avenir du maintien de la paix, souligne notre engagement à poursuivre nos efforts d'adaptation.
It underscores our commitment to continue facing the challenges of today and tomorrow. We are determined to continue our work in the framework of Action for Peacekeeping initiative, its implementation plan, and the digital strategy for peacekeeping. All initiatives that aim to support our personnel on the ground in their efforts to protect populations, promote peace and security. The support of the international community to these programs of work was very visible in the recent ministerial meeting in Berlin, where 74 member states announced specific commitments to respond tangible pledges to address the current and future needs of UN peacekeeping. Going forward, we will need to build on this momentum to ensure peacekeeping is streamlined, economical, and fit for purpose. And we're doing that as the UN embarks on a significant reform on the eve of its 80th anniversary. There is still a lot to do as the road to peace, as the challenges will be significant. But for the millions who depend on us for their future, peacekeeping is more needed than ever. And we owe it to them to continue our work, and I thank in advance member states for their support. Thank you very much for your support.
Mr. Under Secretary General for Peace Operations, for your remarks. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we will now play the last post in honor of all fallen peacekeepers. Personnel in uniform are requested to kindly salute. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Gender Advocate, the Women Police Officer of the Year Award, and the Dag Hammarskjold Medal Ceremony for 2025. Thank you very much for your participation in the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. You are requested to remain seated while the Secretary General departs. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, for exit from here, we request that Excellencies, military advisors, police advisors, and other members of your delegation exit the hall through the north and south doors. Police Division and the Office of Military Affairs staff to leave the hall through the balcony. Have a good day, and thank you. Thank you.